Welcome everyone to Jen's Joyful Kitchen Live, where we are going to be cooking together tonight and making a Dutch baby. So if you don't know what that is, stay tuned and you are going to find that out. This is going to be an easy, elegant meal that you can serve anytime you want to have brunch. So it's really simple and it's also really fun. So I want to welcome you to my page if you're new here, and I also want you to give my page a like so that you don't miss out on future videos. I do frequent cooking demos, so you'll definitely want to stay tuned. And if you want the free recipe printable for this recipe, I want you to message me and I'll send it right over to you. So let's get started. We are going to make a Dutch baby. So I want to know, have you ever heard of a Dutch baby, number one? And if so, have you ever made one or eaten one? My first experience with something like this was when we traveled to Hawaii and had a souffle type breakfast, and it was fantastic. So I couldn't wait to make something like it at home. And we're gonna get to use one of my favorite new tools, which is the cast iron skillet. So I wanna know, raise your hand in the comments. Let us know, do you have cast iron? Are you kind of a person that maybe doesn't know so much about cast iron and you don't know if you wanna try it? So that was me, grew up with cast iron, but didn't necessarily want to go down that road because I knew there was a whole seasoning process that I thought, oh, that sounds kind of daunting, but we're going to get into it tonight. So to get started, we are going to start mixing up our Dutch baby ingredients. And this is really simple. So we're going to first I'm gonna turn this so you can see it. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Okay, there we go. So what we're gonna do, I've got my classic batter bowl here, and I am first going to, welcome as you're joining. I got 3 eggs that I'm gonna drop in here. So you can cook along with me. This is a really simple, easy meal you can make for a dinner, or you can also make it for a brunch. The next piece is I'm going to do 1/2 cup of milk. So healthy twist, just use your favorite fat-free milk. That's a great way to lighten it up just a little bit. And then you need a tablespoon of sugar. So I'm just gonna put that right in. And then we're going to also put in our teaspoon of vanilla. So all of this just gets put in right together. And then our little dash of salt, it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Now, while I'm mixing this, I actually have my 10-inch cast iron skillet in the oven preheating. That's actually part of the directions where you set your oven to 425 and you put the skillet inside and let it heat up as the oven is warming up. So the reason for that is that once I take it out, what's going to happen is we're gonna put some butter in there and it's gonna sizzle, and then we're gonna pour this batter right in, and it's going to allow it to start the process of cooking and then puffing up. So we're just gonna put this, just mixing this together. So pretty easy, right? So any of you that are making brunch, or even this is breakfast for dinner, you could do that too. You could totally make this into a delicious, elegant, easy brunch. Okay, so I've got this together. And the next step is really just to whisk in 1/2 cup of flour. So I'm gonna put this in. You think that, wow, it doesn't really require that much flour, and it really doesn't. So we're gonna whisk this in. And you wanna make sure that it's completely mixed. You don't want any big chunks of flour here. So really simple. I'm just kind of giving this a quick mix here. How easy is that, right? Hi guys, hi Ronnie, hi Marissa. Okay, so our cast iron skillet is going to be coming out of the oven in just a moment, but I do want to share with you some things that you're going to need besides the cast iron. So we've got our whisk in our bowl, of course, but the next thing we're going to be using is the quick slice. So you can see that here, and you can see that we're going to be using that for cutting up some berries here. So we'll be doing that in just a moment. Now I want to know, how many of you have tried cast iron in the past, or do you have cast iron? Are you looking to try out cast iron? Is that something that you're interested in trying? Is it something that you maybe grew up with? I know for me, cast iron is something that I camp and cook with. So when we go camping, I like to use my cast iron, and one big reason for that is because I like to be able to cook over the fire, because there really isn't another pan that you can use that withstands high temperature like that. So I'm gonna pull this out, and it's gonna be really nice and hot, and you're gonna see what happens here, because I'll turn the camera back down, but we're gonna put 4 tablespoons of butter right into the pan when I grab it out of the oven. And Molly says, I love cast iron and the PC skillets are on the way. Yes. And I'm gonna share with you more details about the Pampered Chef cast iron skillets, because they really make cast iron cooking so simple and easy to do. So don't forget, you know, one of the big things that I tend to forget is I have a hot pan that I pull out of the oven that I normally would maybe put on the stovetop. Remember to not touch it without your mitts on. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this back down so you can see what's going on. So I've got my butter, and I'm gonna just pop it in here. Now, you do want to make sure that you put the butter in pieces so that it's not just one big blob kind of roaming around. So I cut this up. We're just gonna sizzle this all the way around here. We've got all these little chunks. You want it to melt. It's nice and hot. Now, if you guys were here, you would totally smell this butter melting. So swirl that around just to melt it all together. And then we're gonna pour this right back into the oven, or put this right back into the oven. So I'm going to pour in our batter, just like this. Just pop this right in here. Okay. So what's going to happen with this is it's going to puff up, and then it will drop back down once you take it out of the oven. So it's basically like a puff pancake. So let me get this in the oven. Take this right in. All right, I'm gonna set a timer because that's always essential. Okay, so I set it for 20 minutes. That's what it's going to cook for. And when you bake it for 20 minutes, you're then going to reduce the temperature to 350 for the last 5 minutes. So that's something to take note of in the recipe. Now, if you want the printable recipe and you haven't already gotten it from me, I want you just to message me, and I will definitely give it right over to you so you can print it out. I think one of the best things you can do is have a binder of recipes that you have tried, you know they work, and you have the printable recipe. It's gonna look just like what you see down here. So let's do our next step. We're gonna do some strawberries now, and then I'll tell you more about that cast iron too. So the strawberries really are really easy, and I don't know, you know, it's becoming strawberry season soon, and what I love to do is not waste as much of the strawberry as possible. So I like to use the little core and more, and you can see that I can just take this out really easily and pop out the top. So we just need a few strawberries, and you could use other fruits for this as well. So this is a little healthy twist for you. You want to have some kind of fruit to go with this, whether it's berries. I've also done apples that I've sauteed in a little butter and a little brown sugar, just right on the stove top for a few minutes, and then that also makes a really great topping as well. So I'm just taking the cores out. I love this tool for fast and easy removal without having to waste any of the strawberry. And I washed them in the Easy Read measuring colander. So if you've never seen that before, it's actually got little marks to measure, and then you've got the colander to drain everything out. So the next step is actually cutting these strawberries up, and rather than getting out a knife, I like to use my quick slice. So the quick slice is something where you can do a whole bunch at one time, and you can do strawberries, eggs, mushrooms, cucumbers, zucchini, apples without the core. So you can see how quick and easy that was, where now you have the strawberries all sliced up. So you've seen that, and this is a tool that even kids can help with because you're not touching any blades or anything like that. You're just putting this on and then rocking and pushing down. So this is called the quick slice, one of my favorite tools. If you have this tool, share that in the comments. tell us what you love to use it for. You can also use it for cheese, like cutting the slices of cheese. Oh, you need that quarter. Yes, Molly, you do. So that is how simple you can cut up those strawberries, okay? And if you wanted to do things like blueberries, you'd mix them together. If you wanted to do apples, I use my apple peeler core slicer, so it actually slices it, peels it, and cores at the same time. If you want to know more about that, just let me know in the comments and I'll share that with you. Any type of fruit is good because this is basically like a pancake that you'll want to have fruit on top of. And if you don't have fruit, it needs the fruit, so you don't want to disregard that. So let me tell you more about the cast iron. So this is one of the cast iron skillets. The one that I'm using tonight is 10-inch, and this is the 12-inch, so you can see a little bit larger. If you like to do a lot of like meals in a pot, like one pot meals, the 12-inch would probably be a good fit for you. If you're cooking for a couple of people or maybe 3 people, or you like to do a lot of side dishes in cast iron like cornbread or desserts or things like that, then the 10-inch would be good. I think they're both good together because you use them for different things. So the cast iron, one of the big things that I love about it is that you don't have to season it when you get it. So Pampered Chef's cast iron skillets come pre-seasoned. They're ready to go right out of the box. You simply take them out of the box and you start cooking. How can it be any harder or easier? So 5 reasons that I love the cast iron that Pampered Chef has is, number 1, they come pre-seasoned, so that makes it really simple and easy for you to get cooking without any intimidation about seasoning it. No worries about that at all. The second reason I love it is that it's really easy to clean. So when you are finished cooking with it, all you do, first off, let it cool down a little bit so that you're not burning your hands. And then you're going to there's a little brown scraper that comes with it, and you're gonna scrape it with some hot water, no soap, because you actually want the seasoning to remain, and soap can break that down. So you're just going to use some hot water, scrape everything out, and then dry it immediately. So that is a key thing. And if you don't dry it immediately, what will happen? Well, you haven't ruined it. It will rust because iron and water cause rust to happen. And don't worry, you can still fix that. I have tips for that on my blog post, so you can check that out there. Okay, so the third reason I love it is that it goes on so many different heat surfaces. So you can use it on your stovetop, you can use it in your oven, under your broiler, you can use it on your grill. And it's the only piece in the Pampered Chef line that can also go over the fire pit. Maybe you want to make some s'more, like a s'more dessert, or some nachos, or the ideas are endless. I've done chicken fajitas over the fire, where I've cooked the chicken and the peppers and the onions over the fire, and it's just so good. So when you're sitting like out in your backyard, or maybe you like to go camping and you want to have a fire, why not make a meal in it? So that's another reason that I love it. So the fourth reason I love it is that it's super long lasting. So this is going to be a piece of cookware that's going to get passed down for generations, and people are going to love it, those future generations, because it was yours, and then it was your child's, and then it was their child's. So it's definitely a legacy piece of cookware, and there's lots of recipes that could be passed down along with that, and I'm all about passing down recipes. There's really nothing to not love about this cookware. And the fifth reason that I love the cast iron skillets that we have is that the way they cook is so amazing. They're even heating, so when it's heating up, it's going to evenly heat. It's also got really great heat retention. So even if you have someone that's eating now and then you have another person that's eating in 2 hours, it will still keep things warm for quite a while. And it really allows for really even searing and crispy crusts. So if you've never made a deep dish pizza in a cast iron, you definitely would love it because it gets that crust nice and crispy. There's also some great features about our cast iron. So you can see that I have 2 handles. A lot of cast iron has just one handle that you're holding out here, and cast iron, is heavy. So to try to hold that with one hand can be really hard. So 2 is much easier. And then there's also 2 pour spouts. So no matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, you have one on this side or one on this side, so you can easily pour out the juices of whatever you are cooking up. Those are 5 things I love about our cast iron. So if you'd like to get the cast iron, you can get that by just hopping on my website, and you can purchase it right through there. So that's all about cast iron. Now, I know you really are interested, hopefully, in whipped cream. Who that's watching, whether you're watching live or on replay, loves homemade whipped cream? Let's see. Hi, Christy. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Judy. Thanks for watching. Let me show you how you can make a really easy, fast, homemade whipped cream, and it only takes a few seconds. So one of my favorite tools is the whipped cream maker. It's got a brilliant name, right? So this is a tool that you can make your own homemade whipped cream in anywhere between 30 and 45 seconds. You can also use it to make super fluffy scrambled eggs. So if you love your eggs to be really airy and light, this will help you with that because it injects air as it's being pumped. And you can also use it to make your own homemade butter. So maybe you have fresh herbs and you want to integrate some of that. You can make the butter and then put it in a bowl and smash in all of those herbs like fresh thyme, or maybe you want to do some basil and then you're using it for garlic bread, or you have all kinds of options, really. It's pretty cool. So how this works is that you pump it up and down with the ingredients inside, and it will, over that course of a small amount of time, thicken and create homemade whipped cream. Now, who doesn't like homemade whipped cream? It's so delicious, right? Now, you have a couple of features. You can, once you're finished with it, you can take that top off, and then this bottom that was sitting down here so that it doesn't move around your counter as you're pumping it actually becomes a lid for you as well. So you can pop the top on, and then any leftover whipped cream, let's see how much you actually have left over, can go right in the refrigerator. Now, you can make all kinds of whipped cream that have different flavors. You can make pumpkin spice in the fall. You can make chocolate. You can make peppermint for holiday time. You can do so many different things. And if you can't have dairy, you can also use coconut milk to make your own whipped cream too. So we're going to get started on making this homemade whipped cream. So I'm gonna turn you down here so you can see what I'm doing. So we've got our 2 pieces here, and what you're going to want to do is just 3 ingredients to make your own homemade whipped cream. And it is, first off, 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So I'm gonna put that in first. And then it's about a teaspoon or so of vanilla. Now this is where you inject the flavoring. So if you wanted to do something else, like maybe you like maple flavoring, or you like almond flavoring, or anything like that, you can use your own ideas there, or maybe you want to do some different, like cinnamon or something like that. And then if you notice, there's actually a line in the middle here that you simply pour your heavy cream up to. Then you don't really need anything else to measure. So you've got that all covered. Now, what you want to do is you want to have cold whipped cream. You don't want it to have been sitting out, or cold heavy whipping cream, so that it's nice and cold. And you put the top on, you see I've got the bottom on here. And then what we're going to do is just pump it up and down. And what you will notice, and you want to get the full, pump, so go all the way down and all the way up so that it does hit the top. And over the course of 30 to 45 seconds, you will find that it's getting thicker. Like I can already tell it's getting thicker because it's getting harder. This is it's not only easy, but it's also fun, and you can do this with your family. Yep, it's getting definitely a lot thicker, I can really tell. So it depends on how thick you want it. If you want it to have peaks, if you want it to have soft peaks. This is definitely getting harder. Okay. It definitely works your muscles too, which is good. Okay, so check this out. Oh my goodness, you guys. Can you see this? Isn't this awesome? Like, it literally is peaked. It's homemade whipping cream, and you don't have to get out the big mixer. You can just put it all in here. This whole thing is dishwasher safe. And look at that. I mean, how cool is that? Okay, so this is our homemade whipping cream with the whipped cream maker. So that is just a fun tool to help you put a little extra pizzazz on your delicious meals, whether it's for brunch or dessert or whatever you are wanting to make and give a little bit of extra oomph to. So we've got our whipped cream, we've got our fresh berries, we've got our puff, our Dutch baby in the oven. And when it comes out, I'm just going to add those fresh strawberries, and then I'm going to add a big dollop of whipped cream over the top. I'm also going to sprinkle some powdered sugar with my powdered sugar shaker over that as well. And then it will be a delicious meal that my family will really enjoy. And you can make this for an upcoming brunch that you have. You can make it for a dinner. You can make it for whatever you want. It's just a fun meal that your family will love. So I want you to like my page so that you are not missing on any future videos. I like to do cooking demos to share fast and healthy recipes with you. I also want you to, if you're interested in learning more about the cast iron skillets or the whipped cream maker or the quick slice, those 3 tools that I featured, I want you to jump onto my website. You can just click the shop now or head over to my website that I'll be posting, and you can check them out there. You can make your purchase and you will have the items that you need to make these meals and all kinds of other fun things too. And you also are invited to join my Jen's Joyful Kitchen group, where I share even more recipes and more fun things in the kitchen to help you create those fast and easy meals with a healthy twist. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to share some photos of the final product with you. But this is a really easy meal that I can't wait for you guys to try. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.